Good morning and welcome back to the Feenstra Zoo, everyone. I'm glad you've chosen to spend your very valuable time with me today. But before we jump in, you know how it goes, got to do some housekeeping. So first off, I just want to give a shout out to our sponsor of today's show, that is Outin. Outin is a portable espresso machine. Allows you to pull delicious espresso shots anywhere, anytime. With plenty of awards, all stainless steel internal components, and everything you need to complete your coffee station. You just need to check them out. Check out the link in the show notes down below, and I've got a 10% discount code for you. You're going to love it, I promise. It's fantastic. That is Outin Espresso Machines. And just one last thing before we jump in. If you have any topics, questions, or anything that you want me to cover here on the zoo, just look us up. Any social media, the Feenstra Zoo, you'll find us. Send me a message. I'd love to tackle almost anything for you guys. All right, so for the fun stuff, what are we talking about today? Today we're going to explore what is the iterative process. It was something that I was inspired to look into by Mythbusters' Adam Savage, more specifically his book, Every Tool is a Hammer. This book was a delightful blend of lifestyle tips and the process of what he calls iteration, or the creative process, or making. So I guess the first thing that I need to explain is what is the iterative process, or what is iteration. Basically, it is the repetition of a process using the results of the previous attempts to improve the next version. Or simply put, it's doing something again and again and again, trying to get better at it. So, I don't know how else to say this, but I'm just going to do it. The first time you try something, you're going to suck at it. There's no two ways about it. Season 1, Episode 1 of the Feenstra Zoo, it really sucked. Now, over the past 6 seasons, I've gotten better at basically every aspect of this. I'm currently just above mediocre, and every episode I attempt to get better at something. Now, this is the iterative process. Learning what I don't know from the previous 100 attempts that I've tried it, getting a little better, and moving forward. So it doesn't matter what you're doing, if it's archery, if it's baking, if it's podcasting, synchronized swimming, water polo, it doesn't matter. The first time you try it, you will likely fail. And honestly, you need to give yourself permission to do so. For a few reasons. First, if you don't give yourself permission to fail, you're likely going to be paralyzed by fear and miss out on some of the greatest joys in life. Think of your first romantic kiss. Okay? Likely, no one taught you how to do this. And just as likely, it was insanely awkward. So you had no idea what you were doing. It was awkward, but seldom is something that's that uncomfortable been so exciting and joy-filled. If you didn't give yourself permission to try, you'd miss out on it. Next, by not being allowed to fail, you're going to miss out on lessons of life. I think John Dewey said it fantastically. Failure is instructive, and the person who really thinks learns just as much from failure as from success. Giving yourself permission to fail gives you valuable life lessons. Finally, without permission to fail, you're going to miss out on discovering many of the things that God has for you in life. You're going to miss out on new loves, great hobbies, God's gifts for you. You're just going to fall short. All right. So, how do we apply the iterative process to everyday life. Broad strokes: you break down tasks into bite-sized pieces, set goals, reflect on your outcomes, and make small, manageable adjustments and repeat the process. Rinse and repeat and rinse and repeat until you get your desired results. Now, I like this approach because it encourages continuous improvement, it fights off perfectionism, and reduces pressure on yourself. Well, Spencer, why don't we double down on this and dive deeper into the practical application? Why, Spencer? I do believe I will. All right, step 1, setting goals. Okay. You've got to set these goals and put definitive parameters on what you're trying to achieve. If you're trying to learn a new skill like podcasting, deer hunting, writing a book, or playing golf, we all start at the beginning. That is, we all start by being ignorant or unknowing of all the thousands of things that make someone great at whatever it is that we're trying to do. Whatever new endeavors we may be undertaking, we just simply don't know what it takes to make someone great. Okay. Now, maybe it's not a tangible skill. Maybe it's a larger concept, like you want to get better at time management or have stronger relationships. You know, you may not know where to find the best knowledge, or maybe you just don't know what the next right step is. Whatever it is, having a clearly defined goal to work towards, it's going to make the next step clearer and help set this process right. Next, with planning this first, make this first small step just that, small. Call this the first iteration. Okay. Remember that this needs to be achievable and an actual action towards your larger goal. Okay. If you aim too high, I promise you're either going to lose momentum, become discouraged, or just right off the jump, you're not going to try. So if you're trying to start a new podcast from scratch, don't make step 1 releasing the first episode. Make step 1 picking a name, or better yet, defining what your niche is and what topics you're going to talk about. You know, maybe you're really inspired to start this. Just write the first 10 ideas of what episodes you want to make. Just write them out and then go from there. Whatever it is, make that first step small and achievable and a easy action to complete. I think it helps to remember that a body in motion is going to stay in motion. Okay? It's hard to get off the couch and go for a run, but it's a lot easier to push 1 more kilometer when you're already 4 kilometers into this run. Right? So if your body's in motion, you're actually doing something, you're checking something off your to-do list, you're achieving a goal right off the jump, it's going to help you to push further and push through the rest of your goal. Next, take action. Actually implement your plan and make sure you're not overthinking it or aiming for perfection. Now, Voltaire said that perfection is the enemy of good. And remember what I said earlier, your first attempt is going to suck, and that's okay. For me, I like to remember that Wayne Gretzky, at one point, he couldn't skate. Michael Jordan couldn't dribble a basketball. So whatever it is, when you're taking action, don't aim for perfection. At some point, you just have to aim for completion. After we've taken action, we need to do some self-evaluation. Take a step back and reflect. Okay? Ask yourself what worked, what didn't. What did I do well? Celebrate these things. And then what can I improve on? What did I enjoy? What was frustrating? Right? The next piece of this puzzle, or the next step, I believe is the most important. Okay? Try again. It's time for the next iteration. Based on your evaluation from the last step, make small and manageable adjustments. I'm going to repeat that. Manageable adjustments. Then repeat the cycle. Continue refining your approach with each iteration, and over time, you'll build the new habit, the new skill, or a new process that works for you. Like I said, this process of iteration can be used for pretty much anything. It could be used to create new things, crafting websites, furniture, or improving on things you've already built and built again. You could experiment with time management styles, to-do lists, or focusing techniques to help you improve your productivity. You could then use those in other skills and creative endeavors. You can use this in your relationships by testing different ways to communicate with your partner, or different forms of intimacy. Evaluate their responses and yours, and then refine your approach. It can be used for personal growth. You could start new habits like journaling or exercise, and scale them to meet your needs. Whatever it is, whatever you're doing, the key is embracing the mistakes. Viewing them as opportunities to learn rather than failures. Because so long as you're still trying, you really haven't failed. Life, like any project, it improves step by step. Now with that, I think I'm going to depart this week. This one's shorter, but I think that this has large implications. Take these steps, put them into your own life, create the next iteration of whatever it is you're doing, and have fun with it. Embrace the mistakes, embrace the messy, and then learn from it. Guys, again, thank you for joining me today. I do appreciate that you take your time to spend with me. And if you do enjoy what we do here at the zoo, please share it with your friends, maybe even on social media, and don't forget to tag the Feenstra Zoo. While you're online, you might as well make sure you're following us on all the social medias: TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and of course on YouTube. And remember, supporting our sponsors does support the show, and with Valentine's Day coming up, it's a great time to check out the links down below to find your special someone a gift for the big day. Anyway, guys, thank you again. I love you, and God bless.